As a young child, I was very, very hesitant about meeting people and even speaking with people. And after I left school and really started to work, I found that I had to go to see people in stockrooms. And I was terrified to go into that stockroom. Not just to do the work that I had to do, which was to do some ordering and spend money. And I didn't think I had the training to do that either. But when I got to the door of that stockroom, I was terrified. And I'm quite certain that if I hadn't known that my dad knew the gentleman I was going to see, I would have turned tail and ran. But of course I did go in and did that work, and they were really so helpful to me. Then after that, some years afterwards, the business grew and I had to go down to London and see other people in a stockroom, and I thought I'll just go into that stockroom, just get round the door and nobody will know me. I had been told that this firm had moved into these new showrooms in London, and that they were huge and, you know, all plush and all that kind of thing, and that terrified me too. So I arrived at the door and sort of sneaked round the door, and I had to sign in. And as I was signing in, one of the reps from that company, not one of mine, but one of the reps from that company, right at the other end of this long room, put his hand up and said, "Hi." And of course everybody turned round to see who it was. And so that was the end of me sort of sneaking into that stockroom. But then I was speaking with that rep afterwards, and he said to me that he was terrified about meeting people. I thought he was full of confidence, but he was terrified. And it suddenly struck me, you know, what was I seeing there? I was seeing a man who was full of confidence, but really what I was seeing was man as being God's child. God's perfect child, about his Father's business, and that's what I was. I was about my Father's business, and therefore God gave me all the qualities that I needed to do the work that I had to do. That was a Wednesday, and on the evening I went to a Christian Science testimony meeting. At a Christian Science testimony meeting, there's a reader who reads from the Bible and from Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures by Mary Baker Eddy, and they choose a subject to focus those readings on. I can't remember a word of what was read, but I do remember my feeling, and I don't remember any of the people that got up and spoke and their experiences in Christian Science and how Christian Science had helped them. Don't remember any of it. But what I do remember is that I was completely free from that feeling of not having any confidence, of not being good enough, of all those kind of things. And that's always stayed with me. And it really is a very powerful thing, I think, to recognise man as being God's perfect whole child of God. And that's not just for me or fellow Christian scientists, it's for everybody, because we are all God's perfect children. Because of what I did, which I did not want to do, because it was to work for my dad, which I thought was going to be a dead-end job, and I wouldn't be able to do any travelling because I wouldn't be able to afford it. Eventually I started knuckling down and doing that job properly, and it started to grow. And I then became president of the National Shoe Retailers Council and did a lot of work in London, and had experiences with different people. And that experience where that rep sort of put his hand up and said, "Hi, Margaret," and also going to the evening service, the evening testimony meeting that Wednesday. It's all opened up so many avenues well, not yes, opening up avenues, because it's freed me from that thought that I had that really I couldn't do things. I reckon that possibly happened when I was at school. Well, I was always at the bottom of the class, and I did have a very poor opinion of my capabilities. But because of those experiences and being in the shoe industry and having to really face those situations, because they were to me, it's freed me. It's shown me that man is really God's perfect child, about his Father's business, not about a mortal, a human being trying to do a good job, but it's about being about our Father's business. And as such, he gives us all the ideas that we need. And that actually has happened so many, many times.